Good day and welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Muchly appreciated. Glad you took a moment out of your time to view this. So I'm going to start a short, probably 4-video series on how to make a play-by-email scenario. So basically it'll be a simple map with reinforced battalion size unit for each side, and we'll put that into a scenario file. We'll make some objectives, and then the final video will be how to code that in Lua. Very simply, because you don't need to worry about coding the AI, in the sense that you don't have to worry about how it's going to move, because it's going to be a play-by-email scenario. So you're going to have 2 human opponents. So first thing we need is a map. If you're watching this, I am using the 1.11 update, but it should be, the methodology should be the same regardless of the update that you're using. Let's grab a master map. So first thing you're going to want to do is open up the map editor, and it defaults to this folder. This is the scenarios folder. But if you scroll to the very top, there's a master maps folder. So you click on that. There's a large selection of master maps that you can use. I'm going to use the Quagnai map. Open that up. And I'm not going to do any edits to this map. I'm going to make my own map. So with that, we are going to save this straight away. That way we don't damage anything. And I'm going to go down to, I've already started some play-by-email sets already. So I'm going to take the same name as this, but I'm going to change this to something that isn't used already in my list, which is a C. So we're going to call this as part of a set C. And there we go. Now we have a map, we have the proper name, so we don't have to worry about that we're editing the master map. And this map here is a fairly large map. Let's look at the jump map. As you can see, it's a fairly large map. There's, this is the Operation Starlight area. And we have Quagnai down here. Let's draw some labels. There's Quagnai down there. We have the Operation Starlight area here. We have July Airfield and Base here, and whatnot. It's a fairly large map. There's a whole bunch of different types of terrain, which is great. And I'm interested in an area that has a variety of terrain. And I've decided, I took a look previously, and I'm interested in only using the top part here of the map to encompass all of this, which has an airfield, which is important. And we're going to have the other corner down in here somewhere, because that way it'll encompass this airfield, and it'll give us a nice variety of terrain in this particular area. So how do we make it smaller? Well, that's pretty straightforward. Let's turn off the labels. We don't need those. Let's turn on the hex coordinates. We have decided that we are going to put our top corner probably somewhere in here. Let's see. Let's scroll down a bit. How about, we need that airfield. Let's go there. So 415. What we're going to do is we're going to shift the map so that this point here is in the top part of the map itself, of what the base map is. So let's do that. We're going to do that by using shift. Extent, shift, and it's 4 by 115. So we're going to go, because we want to move it left, we're going to go -4. And we want to move it up, we're going to go -115. Now, when I press OK, it should shift the map all the way up there. So if we look at this now, yeah, you can see that it's shifted up into that corner. And all this is blank because there was nothing there before. So that makes perfect sense. And you can see the blankness here of the 4 hexes that were, when this moved, this became empty. So now let's find the other corner. I'm going to make this map a little bit larger than it needs to be, just for the simple fact that I will probably make a set out of this. And for me, that'll be 2 or 3, 4, or 4 scenarios that'll be eventually, you know, provided to everyone to use, to play, whatever. Now we're gonna look for the furthest extents. How about? So for the first scenario, I'm really interested in this area here. So I'm envisioning that there's going to be combat in all this center area that's in front of us here, beneath the river here. How that's going to work, I'm not sure yet. And the airfields are there in case the scenario that I'm going to include is going to have helicopters. Maybe that won't be for the first one, but it will be for this maybe future scenarios. Anyways, let's find a nice round number. Let's go. So this is a city. We'll keep that in there just for future reference. And how about 90 by 50? So we're going to resize this map to 90 by 50. Again, you don't have to make it this big. I'm thinking long term. In the future, I'm going to want a bigger map just to have more variety in terrains and whatnot. So 90 is the X coordinate and 50 is the Y. So we're going to resize that. And now we have our map. That's going to be our base map for the scenario. Let's turn on some labels. Do we need any more labels? I don't think so. I think the labels are fine. One thing that I would recommend doing, first off, is we're going to put a compass on here. Right now it doesn't have one because the master maps usually don't. But by default, north is always on the top. So how do we add a compass? Simple. You go under values and then compass. First you're going to select the hex where you want the center of the compass to be. So values, compass, then you select the direction. So if the map was not north, we'd pick something else, south or southwest or whatever. My habit is I always build my maps north facing up. That's just the cartographer in me. Call me crazy. All right, so now you can see that we have a compass, and we're going to save this now that we have at least this part the way that we want. Now let's take a look at the terrain down here. I'm using the graphics mod right now, so it's difficult to tell the... It's good to see the units, but it's difficult to tell the type of terrain that's there. So let me show you what the difference is when I switch the mod. So this is the tabletop gaming mod, which is really great for a whole bunch of different types of scenario. I really recommend it. You can find it on the forum, or if you're watching this post 1.20, you'll have it included in your installation. Okay, now that's gone, let's go back into our map. I'm going to sort by date modified because that's the last thing that I did. So let's open that up. And there we go. Now we have the normal look of the trees, so we can see where the jungle is and whatnot. There's a lot of open area here, and I want to make it a little more challenging instead of having a whole bunch of open areas. So I'm going to modify this map a little bit and add some jungle and trees, and just to make it more interesting for fighting. And there's no reason or anything like that I'm doing that, just to make things a little more challenging for the forces that are fighting. You know, giving them places to hide, to have ambush sites, to do that type of thing. So I'm just adding some trees randomly around the place just to kind of fill it in, make it so that it isn't all open area like it was before. So there we go. So I've added quite a few different types of forest and jungle. Let's add some more jungle over into here just to blend the trees in a little bit so it looks more uniform or consistent, not necessarily uniform. Let's do the same over here. Add some texture so it looks a little bit better, I think. Okay. Let's take a look in this area. So this area has a whole bunch of small villages. Let's draw the labels. Yeah, we can see there's quite a few small villages. I'm going to, because this is all hypothetical anyways, I'm going to add or upgrade some of these small village hexes into maybe some urban hexes. That'll give you know, better locations for fighting and provide defensive benefits and give, you know, a harder opportunity to go in and attack these things. Now, when I click on that, you'll see that there are two different types of styles for the buildings. If you want to have them matching, there's different, if you cycle through by pressing the tab, it'll give you a selection of different buildings to choose from. So I'm going to do that. You can see that right now there are two different styles. So let's try and find something that matches this. And all I'm doing is I have that selected. I'm now going to press tab. See, that matches better. That's nice. Let's see what else is there. I'm going to cycle through them all so you can see. So there's quite the variety of different types that you can go. I think I'm going to choose that. And let's pick another one that's quite similar. If you hold down Control and Tab, it'll go back if you pass one. So there's a nice little town. Let's leave that there. Let's go over on this side. And let's do the same, but let's choose a different type. Let's choose that one. Yeah, that looks nice. That's good. Just tabbing through. There's a nice building there. And tabbing through. There we go. So we have a couple of nice little towns there. Let's add one more over to this side. Let's add that. There you go. Okay. Around here, let's add a couple of more little forested areas just to provide some cover. Again, this is just completely random. There's no logic to where I'm putting things. I'm just placing them randomly. And this will provide cover for attacking. There's also, because this is a play by email scenario, we're going to want to have some additional movement capabilities. So there's a couple of ways that we can do this. Right now you can see there's a lot of flooded paddies, and that's fine. But maybe we'll add a couple of dry paddies that provide avenues of approach. And that's what these are here. So you'll see, let's go over here. Where are we? All right. So here, there's a trail through here, but if we take some dry paddies and put them here, then you can drive through here very easily with wheeled vehicles or armored vehicles and not have to worry about being bogged down. So I'm going to do that in a few spots just to provide a little more access. Where are we going to do that? I'm just looking around, checking things out, seeing where I want to do that. Let's do one there. There's a road there, so we don't need one there. Let's add one here and do the same here, so that way you can easily access this area. Let's move that there. So there, that provides some fairly straightforward movement through there. There's a road there that accesses. There's a road here that accesses. There's not too many roads here, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to add an unpaved road along the bottom of this hillside. So there's a trail there now. So now I'm selecting the unpaved road, and we're going to go in and add that unpaved road along the edge of that hill. The base of the hill, sorry. And there's a road here, so let's just connect up with that road. There's a small bridge here. Let's replace that with a medium bridge. That way vehicles can move along it. We'll do the same there, and we'll do the same here. So this road, it's a brand new road, totally, completely fictional, but there we go. One other thing. So we can't build a road through here unless we do modifications to the ridge. And I don't think we're going to do that for this particular scenario. Maybe in a future scenario we'll do that. We want this to be a very large block for vehicular movement, and maybe in the future this will be a place where helicopter operations are going to be had. But for now, our scenario is going to focus mostly in this particular area here. Let's see, in this area, I think. This is where the most combat is going to be for our new scenario. Let's take a look. So we have one made road, we have some accesses, we have access. We don't really have access up here. Let's add a dry one there, and then you can use the beach to get across. Up here, let's just add a couple. Yeah, that's fine. You can get through here if you are willing to. Let's see, there's a road here, there's a road there. And also keep in mind this is probably going to be, like I said, a reinforced battalion size, so it'll be, you know, probably an infantry battalion with tanks, with artillery support, and maybe some helicopters. So we don't need a lot of roads, but we need enough to make it interesting, and access to make it interesting. Speaking of making that interesting, let's add another access through here, right there, so that way if they do take this road, they can come down and access this town here. Let's see. Let's save that while we're at it. You know what? I think this is good. I think that's good enough. Do we want to add any additional trails in this area? Yeah, let's add some dry areas just to make access a little more interesting. So that provides the opportunity to go from here to there or to here without being on the road. This is a big open area. We could make a crossing right there. So yeah, that'll be fine for tracked vehicles. I don't know if I'm going to include a lot of tracked vehicles, but at least there'll be a tank company or so on either side. This is fine. This is kind of dead zone here. Let's take a look in there. What can we do? Let's add some trails for infantry. So let's take some infantry and make a couple of paths that go across. Let's go here. There we go. So now we need to have fords there to be able to cross that. Wheeled vehicles can travel through here, but at the cost of 1, possibly 2 hexes per turn. Okay. I think that is good enough. This is what we need. So there's one airfield. The other airfield is on the other side. And that's it. All right. Thank you for tuning in. I know there wasn't a lot going on here, but I did show you how to do a couple of things to make it, utilize the master maps that are there for you to use to make a quick map. Super simple to do, as you can see, and you can edit it however you want once you've resaved it. I do, just for future reference, I do update those master maps. As you'll notice, some of them do have black areas. If they do have black areas, I am updating them for future scenarios, especially for the 1968 through 1979 DLC that will be coming out. So yeah, keep an eye out for the updates as they come, and that's why you want to recommend. That's why I recommend to save this as a brand new file. It's very important that you do that. That way, your work won't get overwritten. For example, all these edits that I've done here, you won't find them on the master map. So yeah. All right. Thank you for tuning in. Take care. Smile always, and we'll talk to you soon.